What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to open 3 envelopes that I recently got back in the mail. One of these envelopes I'm kind of excited to open because I have an old stamp on it. I mean, it's not a stamp version that I've had recently, meaning they printed these new stamps out not too long ago. I'll show you one here real quick without showing my name. But this one has an older stamp on it, so I knew that I sent this a year or two ago, and that's the newer stamps I'm talking about. This one has the older stamp on it, so I'm kind of excited to see who's in that one. So let's just jump right into these, and I'm going to share these with you. All right, this first one's postmarked from Florida, and it is former Minnesota Twin / New York Met / San Diego Padre on 4 cards. And in addition to the 4 that he signed, he included a signed testimonial card as well. So it's technically a 5 of 4 success. And that is former infielder Tim Tuffle. Tuffle played in the major leagues primarily as a second baseman from 1983 to 93. Most notably, he was part of the New York Mets' 1986 championship team. He also played for the Twins and the Padres. He currently is working with the Mets as a special minor league instructor and ambassador. According to his Wikipedia page, Teufel was also known for his batting stance, which teammates common referred to as the Tuffle Shuffle, in which he wiggled his buttocks back and forth before the pitcher's delivery. That's kind of funny. So, playing career. Tuffle spent all of 1980 and 81 with the AA Orlando Twins. He raised his average to 282 in 1982, earning a midseason promotion to AAA Toledo. In 83, Tuffle lit up the International League with a .323 batting average and 27 home runs, and resulting in a September call-up to the major leagues with the Twins. He made his major league debut on September 3rd in a 13-0 game against the Orioles. The following season, Tuffle snatched the starting second base job away from former Rookie of the Year John Castino. In his rookie season, Tuffle hit 149 hits, 30 doubles, 14 home runs, and 61 RBIs, and provided solid defense at second base for the Twins. The Twins improved to a .500 record in '84, which was good enough for second place to finish in the American League West. Tuffle finished 4th behind Alvin Davis, Mark Langston, and teammate Kirby Puckett for the American League Rookie of the Year that year. In 1985, the Twins struggled again, and after the '85 season, he was traded to the New York Mets for Billy Beane, Bill Latham, and Joe Kling. And that is, I believe, Moneyball Billy Beane himself was who he got traded for, so that's pretty cool. Although Tim had hit far better against right-handed pitchers, in 1985 he was used mainly against left-handed pitchers in a platoon system with Wally Backman splitting time. 1987 was Tim's best season statistically, as he tied his 1984 home run total and RBI highs despite playing in only 97 games. His .308 batting average, .398 on base percentage, and .545 slugging percentage were all career highs. Despite significantly outperforming Wally Backman, he continued to be used in a platoon role. He was given the chance to play every day in 1988, but spent all of April below the 200 line and missed 3 weeks from midway due to injury. After a poor second half, Tuffle was used in just 1 game in the 1988 National League Championship Series. In 1989, hot prospect Greg Jeffries was given most of the time at second base, and Tim spent half of the time between second and first. And if everybody remembers Greg Jeffries, you guys can remember how much hype was around that dude back in the 80s. His playing time decreased further in 1990, and after the 90 season, he was traded in the 1991 season, the first half of the 91 season, to the San Diego Padres for Gary Templeton, who was a very good player as well. But that was towards the end of Templeton's career. He spent a couple seasons with the Padres, then was granted free agency after the 1993 season, and that is when he retired. Well, he spent some time in retirement, but he returned to coaching as a roving instructor with the Mets in 2001 and 2002. He continued to hold various positions and coaching positions, leading all the way up to the Mets' third base coach job. After his time period as a third base coach, he continues to this day to work for the Mets in the front office as a roving instructor. So thank you very much, Mr. Tuffle, especially for the freebie that you threw in there. All right, this next one, also postmarked from Miami, and this, or Miami, Florida. This is the one with the old stamp, and I'm very, very pleased to have received these back because I had all but written these off. And these are from former Toronto Blue Jay great Juan Guzman on 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it appears that these are signed in ballpoint pen or very fine Sharpie. Appears to be a ballpoint to me, but they look pretty good. You know, usually when you get something in ballpoint, you're not getting a real good autograph, but despite the ballpoint pen, these don't look that bad, to be honest with you. So Juan Guzman. Juan Guzman was originally a free agent prospect with the Los Angeles Dodgers organization. He spent from 1985 to almost all of 1991 playing in the minor leagues. Well, he was originally traded to the Toronto Blue Jays organization before the 1988 season for infielder Mike Sharperson. Well, in the 91 season, he got called up to the Blue Jays, and he went an amazing 10-3 for the Blue Jays with a 2.99 ERA in his rookie season. Well, in 1992, he had his breakout year. The Toronto Blue Jays were on top of the world. They won their first of 2 World Series, and Juan appeared in his first All-Star game where he finished the year with a 16-5 record and a paltry 2.64 ERA and a World Series title to boot. Well, in 1993, he would follow that up with a 14-3 record with an 8.2, which is an 82% winning percentage, as he would lead the Blue Jays to their second World Series title. Well, 1994, the strike-shortened season, wasn't the best for him. He had a 12-11 record in 25 starts, and his ERA ballooned to almost 6. So he was probably happy to see the end of that season. Well, he bounced back in 1995, but the bounce wasn't really good. He had 4 wins and 14 losses with an ERA over 6. Well, in 1996, he found his form again, and I'm guessing that he had some injuries that he was struggling with his pitching, because in 96 he went 11-8, and again, the magic, his ERA, he won the ERA title with a 2.93 ERA. Didn't make the All-Star team that year, but he led the league in ERA. Well, 97 was more of his poor return to pitching. He went 3-6 in 1997, appearing in only 13 games, battling injuries. Well, 1998 was a 10-16 record in 33 appearances. Well, in 1998, he split time between 2 teams, and he was later traded to the Baltimore Orioles mid-season, where he appeared in 11 games for the Orioles. Overall, he went 11-12 that year. Well, in 99, he returned with the Orioles. However, about halfway through the season, they decided to trade him again before the trading deadline to the Cincinnati Reds. He appeared in 12 games for the Reds and actually had a real good run with a 6-3 record. However, despite that, he left the Reds and signed a free agent contract with the Tampa Bay Rays. The injury problems returned, and he only appeared in 1 game at the major league level for the Rays before they released him from his contract. So Juan Guzman overall had a very short but successful career. I don't want to say it was that short. He spent, about a decade in the majors, but the two magical seasons of 1992 and 93. And if anybody's a Toronto Blue Jays fan, you know exactly what seasons I'm talking about. He was one of the aces of that staff. Dave Stewart, Jack Morris, down the list. And this guy was a beast in the early 1990s. So thank you very much, Mr. Guzman. I want to say that I sent these in 2018, maybe even 2017. That's how long this request was out. So I'm a little lagged behind on when I actually got them back and when I filmed, but this took well over a year and a half to get back. So very happy to see these returned to me. Thank you, Mr. Guzman. I'd never gotten your autograph before, so definitely a good addition to the collection. All right, this next one. It was postmarked from Arizona, and it is former Seattle Mariner, San Francisco Giant, Bill Swift on 1, 2, 3, and my favorite, a Team USA 1985 Topps, that he was teammates with Mark McGwire and Will Clark. I don't understand. I've never mentioned this before. Maybe some old-time collectors can share this with me. I know Will Clark was on Team USA, but he didn't get a card. I don't know why. And I have the unlicensed card that came out on him. But Barry Larkin, Will Clark, I want to say Paul Merrill, all were on Team USA, but yet they didn't make that set for whatever reason. McGwire, of course, is the most famous card in that set, but Bill Swift, let's talk about him. Bill Swift grew up in Maine. He attended South Portland High School, then attended the University of Maine, where he played college baseball for the Maine Black Bears baseball team from 1981 to 84. During his time with Maine, they appeared in 4 consecutive College World Series. Also, a member of the 1984 Team USA Baseball. Following Swift's senior year at Maine, he was a first-round pick, 2nd overall by the Seattle Mariners in the 84 draft. The Mets had the number 1 pick, and they selected Sean Abner. Whoops, would be the best way to put that. Sean Abner, a major leaguer, but he was a utility player at best throughout most of his career in the majors. He was the number 1 overall pick that year, and he sure did not live up to number 1 pick status. As, he hung on for a few years, but did not, at least he made it to the majors, we could say that. Shortly after the draft, he made his debut with the 1985 Mariners. He spent some time with the Mariners. They had a pitching staff that featured, Mark Langston, him. They were average team. They just weren't very good, during that time period. That was before Griffey was there. Griffey was there probably only a couple seasons when Swift was there, but the heyday with Swift was earlier in his career with the Mariners than later. Well, in 1991, Swift was traded to the Giants along with Mike Jackson and Dave Burba for Kevin Mitchell and Mike Lemminger. I remember when this happened, and I was so pissed that the Giants traded Kevin Mitchell. I was like, what in the hell is that about? But little did I know that trade actually will work out for the better for the Giants than it did for the Mariners, because Mitchell only played briefly for the Mariners, and Giants were really good. They made him a starter. He led the league with a 2.08 earned run average one year in 1992. Then the following year, he won 21 games for the Giants. And that was the team that featured Barry Bonds in his first year, Will Clark, Matt Williams, etc. So if you look at it this way, if the Giants never would have traded Kevin Mitchell, Barry Bonds may not have ever been a Giant. And could you imagine Barry Bonds not being a Giant? After his time with the Giants, he went to play for the Rockies, which the Rockies were newly, franchised in 93. From 95 to 97, he struggled, with the Rockies. He had some shoulder issues, back issues, etc., etc., and eventually they released him. In 1998, Seattle signed him again, and he struggled, posting an 11-9 record, which I wouldn't call that struggling, but his ERA was up around 6, and Swift retired during spring training in 1999. So, he came up to the majors as a very young man, pitched for some god-awful Seattle Mariners teams, found some really good success with the Giants, then found some non-success with the Rockies, which many pitchers have found that. And unfortunately, some aches and pains in the old body just couldn't allow him to pitch much longer. But after his career, he relocated to Arizona. He was elected to the New England Baseball Hall of Fame, being named one of Maine's best athletes of the 20th century in 1999. He coached at Arizona Christian University all the way through 2018, from 2013 to 2018, but resigned after the 2018 season, so not really sure if he's working anymore or just enjoying life down in Arizona. So thank you, Mr. Swift. You were one of the greatest pitchers in the 90s, in my opinion, those couple seasons. Not to mention this guy as well in the early 90s. And thank you, Mr. Tuffle, for signing all the cards and including this freebie as well. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Join me for another episode in the future. I look forward to your comments below. Thanks.